Good afternoon ladies and gents, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for clicking that button and joining me for today's video. Hope you're all well. So guys, in today's video we're going to take a look at a new kit I have recently put together. The idea behind this kit is twofold. First being it's comprehensive and versatile enough to serve you as a lightweight bushcraft stealth camp sort of kit. And second of all, I've designed this kit to be light enough to hike with, so you can use this as a day pack just for hiking. And if the worst case scenario does present itself to you and you become lost, you've got all the provisions you will need to procure water, shelter, fire, things like that in this kit. So let's take a look at it. So again, the philosophy and mentality behind this kit is one, comfort camping. If you do decide to intentionally just get out and do a bushcraft stealth camp, no one will be any the wiser that you've got the means of a full camp out kit in this pack. Second of all is self-rescue and preservation of life in a survival situation. Let's get into it. So the kit is primarily built around the Helikon-tex Bushcraft Satchel, and this is part of their bushcraft line. I'm going to give you a couple of specs on the pack now, but I'm not going to go too far into it because I plan to do a review on this for the channel in the near future. So the pack utilises YKK zippers on the front pocket and the top main enclosure. It is constructed from a hard-wearing Kajora fabric. We have molly webbing on the sides, both sides and the base, including compression straps. The pack features a 50mm shoulder strap, and that is made from Woojit plastics or Woojin plastics. So good quality plastics there. And the pack has a capacity of 17 litres, making it perfect for this application. The kit also follows the rules of the 5 C's of bushcraft, so cutting, cordage, container, combustion and cover are all implemented inside of this kit. So I'm going to start with the exterior of the pack first. And on the side we have a tunnel and we have a pocket. And in this pocket our first cutting tool is the Silky Gun Boy 240. Fantastic Japanese pull saw. Still on the same blade. I've had this for well over 2-3 years now, so this should take care of all of your cutting needs, sawing needs. We have a nice 90-degree sharp spine there as well, so you can use that with a ferrocerium rod. We have a 2-stage locking system on that saw as well. Going to the other side, the main knife for this kit is my very trusty Mora Bushcraft Black. I absolutely love this knife to death. This is one of my first main proper bushcraft knives. On the old channel I demonstrated battening this through a seasoned oak log. This is not a full tang knife, but it survived and it survives to this day. Again, a fantastic knife, so that would be the main cutting tool. Going into the front pocket on the pack, and this is where we'll find our combustion. So in there we have a box of kitchen matches, strike anywhere. We have some of the wax pads. These are fail proof really. These will light in any conditions and they give you a good burn time of around 15 minutes. Homemade, fantastic tinder. Also in there we have means for procuring safe water to drink. So in there we have a survival straw. I'm not sure what this one is. This is the Frontier Pro. I've had this for a good long time now, and it's not been used anywhere near its capacity for filtering water. This will do thousands of gallons, so that's still safe to use, and that just sits in the front pocket. More of the wax pads because they're just so useful. We also have a Bic lighter. I would keep normally a couple of these in this kit. You should always have more than one means to start your fire. Oh, and this is what we're going to be eating today. This is the food for the pack. You've still got room in this pack for any sort of flat foods like this you might want to take, and you can combine that with any foraging skills you may have, and get yourself a decent meal on. We're going to have that today. More of the wax pads in there. This kit is again designed to make use of your bushcraft skills as well really. So there's no gas stove in here, you would have to get your own fire going just to keep down on the weight. Going into the main compartment, and this is where the main kit resides. So we'll start with shelter first. This is the Helikon-tex poncho, and again this is part of their bushcraft line. This is going to be your rain gear and your shelter. I've demonstrated this as a shelter in the past, and it is ample enough for a good shelter in most conditions. So that will be our shelter system. Cordage. We have a good line of good length of ridge line in there, 550 paracord. It could actually, I think this is just utility line, but Serves the same purpose. Got more than enough there to cut off any extra cordage we may need for prussics or guy lines, stuff like that. So in the main body of this pack we do have 2 elasticated bottle pockets, and they are large enough to house a good sized canteen kit like this one. This is a German canteen kit, I believe. This was gifted to the channel many years ago, and this is one of my favourite pieces of kit just to get out for a woodland trek and just to have a brew in, or get your dinner in there as well. Bottle's plastic, so that cannot be used over a fire, but we've got a 2-pot system in this pack which allows you to utilise 2 pots for boiling and cooking. And that is the titanium Vargo spork as well. I think the bottle on this kit is 1 litre capacity, so you've got the means of carrying at least a litre of water with you, and with the straw there you can drink on the go. Second piece of kit, this is the bivvy bag, and this is an Alp kit, Hunker bivvy. I've had this for many years and it rarely gets used. A lot of the gear in this pack is again gear that is surplus to me and doesn't find its way into any sort of my kits. So good sized bivvy bag there, breathable, waterproof. These can be used as a browse bed. They can also be used to obviously keep you out of the elements. So that is the first part of the sleep system. This is the second pot we spoke about, and this is an old titanium saucepan from Alp kit again. Some of my very first gear. This one did have a lid that you could use as a fry pan, but that has since been removed, and luckily enough I found a lid that fitted this. That fits perfect on top, and that gives you another means to cook or boil water. This weighs absolutely nothing, guys. I'd say you'd be lucky if that weighs anywhere between 170 180 grams. Good little pot. Again, going along the lines with the comfort camping aspects of this kit, we have a air mat, and this is the Thermarest Pro Light 3/4 length mat. Again, this is a surplus piece of kit from my bushcraft itinerary, and this has been swapped out recently for a much more comfortable mat for my delicate body. But for a night or two, this is more than comfortable enough, and it will cover the majority of your body. We also have a rubber mat in there because I used to use this with a hammock, and that just stops it slipping. But that can be used under the mat on the ground to provide a little bit more protection from any sharp debris. All this kit will be demonstrated after the show and tell. Cover. Here we have the jungle blanket from Snugpack. This is a brand new piece of gear, and this isn't actually surplus to my needs. This will find its way in another kit of mine, the lightweight summer kit. Thank you very much, Wal, for sending this. Brand new as well, hasn't been used yet. I'm not sure on the temperature ratings of this, but combined with a bivvy bag and another piece of kit I've got in here, UK temperatures, you should get down to at least 5 degrees with this, comfortable. So, and this is a Pertex fabric, camo pattern on there. I'm not going to pull it out because it will get manky on the floor. But that is the cover aspect of the kit. Second to last bit of kit in this bag is the DD Silk Sleeper, and this is a sleeping bag liner. This will just keep all the muck out of your sleeping bag, which we're not using. We are using a blanket, but again, this will up the rating of your sleep system by maybe a degree. So, and again, it just stops any crap. If you're wearing your boots in the bivvy, this will protect the inside of the bivvy, and again, it will just increase your sleep rating. This used to be a we were routing through the Mrs. Dad's old camping gear the other day, and this was his inflatable mat. When we inflated it, I think all the baffles had gone inside and it just looked like one big sausage. So when you lay on it, you just rolled off. It's quite funny. But the pillow on this is very, very comfortable. So what I've decided to do, although we do have another pillow in there, I don't know why I've done that. And it does have a bit of a funky smell, this. So I cut it in half, leaving the pillow intact on top. And my idea was, with the 3/4 length mat we've got there, we can slip that inside here. This will provide the thermarest with a bit of protection from any rough ground again. And we've got the use of that very comfy pillow, so I'll demonstrate that in a minute. Doesn't weigh much, we can remove the straps off there. We don't have to use these, but they're there just to keep the whole thing together. We have an inflatable pillow. I can't think where I put that in there. Maybe for your feet on the floor, just to keep your ankles up off the ground, but that's not necessary. And that, oh, with an internal mesh pocket here, guys, and inside there we do have a cooking grate, just to enable you to cook any meat over the fire. And we also have a small cuts kit inside this bag, which have plasters of many sizes, and they're just for cuts and grazes you might sustain using your sharps. As we complete this setup and throw all the kit in the den, guys, I'm going to go through a couple of optional uses for each piece of gear I come across that I can think of anyway. So guys, the Thermarest air mattress, not only will this keep your arse from getting cold on the floor, it also makes a fantastic signalling beacon with it being bright red. So if you do find yourself lost and in a panic, you can wave this about while screaming your lungs out, asking for help. And as mentioned before, guys, and now demonstrated, we have the non-functioning air mat slipped over the Thermarest, giving you use of that very comfortable pillow that isn't going to slip away from your head in the night. It also gives you the added protection to the base of the mat, where most of your weight is going to be sustained in that area. The bivy bag, guys, so we have a couple of uses for this. First of all being, if the weather is fair and we don't need to actually use this over us, we can use this to add protection to the mat on the ground just by lying that flat on the ground. Second use, as we know, browse beds are a very popular solution for a comfortable bed at night in the States. And what they do, will take an industrial grade bin liner and stuff that with leaves, a couple of them, lie on them, it traps the warmth, keeps you warm from the floor. Similar use with the bivy bag. What we can do there is just stuff this with as many leaves as you can find, moss, grass, stuff like that, and then we can easily cinch the top of that enclosure up, and then you've got a full length body sized comfortable sleeping platform there for an emergency use. So that's the sleep system almost sorted, and then we have got the Snug Pack jungle blanket, which is very much in keeping with the shelter and should add to the stealth aspect of the camp. I don't want to get this all manky, so we're just going to throw that in on top loosely. So that's your bedding sorted. Again, the silk liner can be used in conjunction. I thought the camera was over there then. Silk liner again can be used in conjunction with the bivy bag when needed, but again that weighs probably around 200 grams, maybe less. Takes up no space in the pack at all, and again that will increase the temperature rating of your sleep system. This pillow we're going to throw at the bottom. You can always use this as a redundancy in case this one fails, or again under your feet. I do get sore pressure spots on my feet, especially when I lay on my side. This will probably alleviate that. If not, you can fill the bag with leaves and stuff and put that under your feet. But again, that weighs absolutely nothing, and when deflated, it takes up no space. So I'd rather have it in there, not need it, than to need it and not have it. That old adage. So comfortable, that pillow. So as well as the kit you're going to be carrying in the satchel, guys, you're always going to have your personal kit, stuff you'll carry on a belt or in your pockets, and always going to be on your person. So let's take a look at what I have got in my pockets and on my belt now. So guys, on my very beautifully crafted 3 Magpies custom bushcraft belt, you will see I carry a number of items. So starting with this side, this is a leather pouch containing extra wax pads and tinders. As you can see there, you can never have enough ways to start a fire. Anyone that carries one means are sure to fail. And you know the old adage, fail to prepare, prepare to fail. So that's what we have in that one. On the other side we have a dump pouch. These are a fantastic addition to your kit for a number of reasons. One, they allow you to collect things easily on the way, things you may need further down the road. For example, if you're not even intended to camp out for a day but you are wanting a fire to cook some food up, you're best off collecting your tinders and your kindling when you see it, when it's dry. put it in your pouch, wrap it up, and that will give you a sure means of starting a fire when you get to your destination. You never know when a storm is going to happen and them clouds are going to open up and dump you with a huge amount of rain, rendering everything sodden, and which means more work when you get to your destination. So collect your tinders and kindling, forage foods, stuff like that in a dump pouch. This just sits nicely on the side of the belt. It's not cumbersome in any way, sits there very nicely, and it's just a handy piece of gear to have. Also dangling from the belt in my first pocket we have my fire steel. I've had this one for a good long time now. It's a nice thick one, so you get many thousand strikes off that, but that is my go-to means of starting a fire. If this fails, I've got my lighter, I've got matches, and I've got other means of starting a fire. So that's the fire steel. In this pocket, and this is actually a 6th C of the C's of Survival, and this is your candling device. This is the All-Light Perrin 2 head torch, a fantastic little torch. This has recently been sent to the channel, and I've yet to do a review on this. But this again, this will sit in my pocket, taking up no room at all, and it's easily accessible whenever I need it. And as you can see guys, we've got more than enough kit in this bag to sustain us for a few days if we do unfortunately find ourselves in an emergency situation. Things you won't find in this kit are, one, mylar blankets, the reflective mylar blankets. I think people rely on them too much, and I think there's too much emphasis on them. I think people rely on them too much for the wrong reasons and use them for the wrong reasons. But the best case scenario is to just not get wet and hypothermic in the first place. You've got plenty of shelter elements and options here to get you out of the elements, so you don't get, drenched in the first place and have to deal with hypothermia later on. Dedicated trapping and snaring kits I think are just too big and cumbersome for this kit. If I did find myself in that sort of scenario, then we can always rely on deadfall traps or rope snares, spring snares, stuff like that. So we've got provisions in the pack to do that if we needed to. There are a couple of things we could eliminate from the pack to make this even lighter. The pack as it stands now with a litre of water, you're looking at about 6.5 to 7 kilo. But again, if you know where you're heading and your destination does have a reliable water source, then we can leave the water at home. That eradicates a kilo straight away. We can also do away with stuff like the fire grate. We can always just cook in the coals. We can also eliminate the silk liner bag, but again that weighs nothing, takes up no room in a pack, and it does benefit in more than one way, so I'll leave that in there. And we've also got the half of the vintage air mats, but I think that does serve a good purpose as protecting the base of the thermarest, and we've got that awesome comfy pillow at the top as well. So the shelter element of the kit, you can spend as much or as little time setting this up. This is just purely up for demonstration now, but you can really peg this out and make this quite a strong shelter. It is basically a tarp, which is one of the most versatile shelters you can buy. And again, this will add a rain cover element to your kit as well. It's a good material, nice strong material. Right guys, in typical fashion, and as what you can expect to find around these areas, I've found someone's discarded crap. Looks like this was an old aluminium foil barbecue, so we're going to use this as the fire pit. I'm going to rest this inside the titanium pot to reduce any fire scar on the floor. And then we can use the grill over it to rest the pots. These again guys are an absolutely fantastic tinder, worth the weight in gold, so really easy to make. And the most important thing about any tinder is to take a spark from a fire steel, which this does. Well, I hope it tastes better than it looks. That's all I'll say. Well, it's hot enough. I might just add a tiny bit of water. Oh, actually, the aftertaste is lovely. Oh. And there we have it, guys, a quick look at my newly devised lightweight bushcraft stealth camp kit, or a lightweight shoulder carry that you can go out hiking with for the day, and will see you through a good few nights in comfort should you find yourself in an emergency situation. The reason I personally like this kit is, given its relatively low capacity at 17 litres, it does make you more reliant on using your bushcraft skills and knowledge than it does using gear. Now, as anything, this kit is not going to be suited to everyone. And for you guys that do enjoy the benefits of a modern day stove and fuel combination, you're going to struggle with this pack. You can add a small alcohol stove, but then again you're going to be reliant on fuel, and you have to carry that in a small pot, which adds weight and again takes up more room in the pack. To me, it's a minimalist back to basics bushcraft kit with the added bonus of a few survival items in there as well. Right, ladies and gents, so I hope this video has been of some benefit to you. Maybe it's give you some ideas to put a kit like this together for yourselves. And if not, I hope it's been at least somewhat entertaining for you. And with that, guys, that wraps up another video. So I have just found the mother haul of all St. George's Day mushrooms just behind the trees at the back there. So I'm going to go and help myself to some of them. But until the next one, guys, you stay safe. And as always, stay crafty. See you again. Bye-bye.